Real quick, this is our 2-minute warning. 2-minute warning. We're going to start the ceremony here shortly, so if you're out and about, if you can, please get back to your seats and settle in. We're going to start the ceremony shortly. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome tonight, and to those joining us on the LHSAA network and streaming live on YouTube, we're glad you're with us here tonight. When you look at the history of this Hall of Fame, you see a long list of truly deserving names, the likes of Vida Blue, Terry Bradshaw, Bob Pettit, Robert Parrish, Kim Mulkey, J.T. Curtis, Charles Baglio, Simone Augustus, Billy Cannon, David Toms, Doug Williams, Daniel Cormier, Brother Martin Hernandez, and the Manning brothers, just to name a few. And while the world of sports around them may look a little different today than it did back then, one thing hasn't changed. This state continues to produce outstanding competitors, coaches, and contributors, individuals whose impact earns Hall of Fame honors and shapes what high school sports mean in Louisiana. That's what makes this special. Because at its core, this is still the purest form of sport, where communities rally, pride runs deep, and legacies begin. And the people in this Hall of Fame are the reason that standard never wavers. Louisiana high school sports are special, and no matter how things evolved, that will never change. And if you're watching from outside the booth and wondering, wow, does Louisiana really have that many sports legends? The answer is yes. Yes, we do. And tonight, we've got a class that truly covers it all. A former NBA floor general, the man who helped put bowling on the map in Louisiana, a Lady Tiger legend, a true icon in Louisiana sports media, a beloved coach who now leads from City Hall, a coach who built a North Louisiana basketball powerhouse, one of the most electric scorers the state has ever seen, a cross-country icon who turned distance into dominance, a cornerstone of Edna Carr football, and a coach whose longevity and success define consistency. That's not just a Hall of Fame class, that's Louisiana sports history in one room. Now let's get to it. We will now begin the formal introduction of our 2026 Hall of Fame class. Each inductee will be recognized with a short video produced by the LHSAA network. Following each video, we invite the inductees to the stage to receive their plaque and ring, presented by Mr. Jimmy Anderson and Miss Kathy Holloway, Hall of Fame committee co-chairs. We begin with one of the most decorated point guards in Louisiana high school basketball history, a standout at Brother Martin. He went on to become an All-American at Texas and enjoyed a long NBA career. Let's take a look at DJ Augustin Jr.
was just so selfless on the court. You know, he just as soon pass the ball than he would take a shot. DJ was coach on the court. You really didn't need to tell him what he needed to do. He just intuitively knew what he needed to do at that time.
As a young freshman, he was one of the leaders on the team, and he led by example.
DJ Augustin was a standout for the Brother Martin Crusaders. The future McDonald's All-American, Texas Longhorn, and NBA player grew up, though, in a St. Augustine family. But Augustin decided to wear the crimson and gold of the Crusaders.
The family environment at Brother Martin, the schooling, everything just felt right for me. And also I was able to make that decision myself. My parents didn't force me to go to St. Aug because of my dad or everybody else. You know, they let me decide, and I felt like that was the best decision I could have made, you know, putting on that Brother Martin jersey.
The Conlin Gym at Brother Martin would always be packed out to see the show that Augustin and his teammates put on, even garnering the attention of NBA players at the time.
Every night in the Conlin Gym was a packed house when DJ played, and anywhere he played on the road too. But when they played at home, you know, everybody wanted to see DJ and his teammates. I mean, he had incredible teammates surrounding him.
He was St. Aug Jesuit, and the game was so packed. J.R. Smith at the time was playing for the New Orleans, I guess they were the Hornets at the time. He was a rookie for the Hornets at the time, and he and I got kind of close, you know, through different people and from training together. And he actually tried to come to the game. Well, he came to the game, but they wouldn't let him in because it was full to capacity, standing room only. And my mom had to go get him from the back and take him through the cafeteria.
Augustin would help lead the Crusaders to 3 state title appearances before moving to Houston his senior year due to Hurricane Katrina. Brother Martin won 2 of those titles, including beating fellow Catholic League rival St. Augustine.
It was a great game. They had a lot of great players on their team, well coached, and it went down to the wire. It could have went either way, but you know, we had a young team at the time. You know, just to pull it out was very special to us, and our first championship, it meant a lot.
But if you walk in that gym today, you'll see Augustin's name on the court, his jersey in the rafters, and images from his playing days on the wall. Something young players even get to see when they attend camps hosted by Augustin.
His legacy is the fact that he still comes back here every summer. You know, his name's on the court, his pictures in the hallway outside of my office. His legacy is going to be emblazoned with this school for a very long time. You know,
To be able to take my sons, my kids, my daughters, you know, my family back to the city and see my name on the court at my old high school means a lot to me. Means a lot to them. You know, they get to see Dad put in a lot of work, and Dad did some really good things here and in the city, and for them to be able to see it means a lot. Also, the kids that come to my basketball camp every year, you know, just to inspire them and let them know that I come from the same communities, same city. You know, anything you put your mind to, good things can happen.
DJ, if you can come to the stage. Well, DJ, congratulations on a great honor and a great career. You look too young to be up here, by the way. It looks like you're still in the NBA. What does tonight mean to you?
Tonight means a lot. You know, first of all, thank everybody for coming out. I want to thank my family, of course, for always supporting me. My brother Martin family. You know, it just means a lot, man. And to be amongst all these great athletes and people who've done so many amazing things in Louisiana, it goes a long way.
Yeah. You played high school ball at a time where Louisiana high school basketball was producing some big-time talent. at the time, like the Final Four team at LSU with Big Baby and all those guys, and you in New Orleans. There was a lot of talent at that time.
It was. I actually was getting recruited by LSU, and those guys, Big Baby, Tasman, Tyrus Thomas, that whole team, that Final Four team actually was my, they hosted me when I went to my recruitment visit. So I chose to go a different route. But, just being a part of Louisiana sports is always been special to myself and my family.
Yeah, Katrina maybe played a role in that, or at the time, or what happened? Or?
It didn't. A lot of people thought it did. But I always, just like I said in my video about Brother Martin, I always went with my heart. Yeah. My family never forced me to do anything I didn't want to do, and I just felt like Texas was the best place for me in my career.
Well, obviously, it worked out pretty well. When you're in the NBA, what do you remember about competing? You remember Kobe Bryant? You remember LeBron James? What do you remember about your time?
I have a lot of – I played 16 years in the NBA, so I have a lot of great, crazy stories. But just my first game ever as a rookie, I stepped on the floor with Kobe. Just growing up as a kid, watching guys like that on TV and wanting to be like them one day, to actually step on the floor with them and stand next to them, you got to kind of keep your composure because you're playing against them. You can't be a fan, but at the end of the day, I'm standing next to Kobe, and it was a great feeling, and it kind of had that I made it feeling.
Yeah. From the poster on your wall to the guy you're competing against or something like that, right?
It's crazy, but that just goes to show, like I tell my kids all the time, and like I said in my video, my kids at my camp, like anything you put your mind to, if you work hard enough and be a good person too, it's not all about sports. You got to do the right things off the court, in the classroom. It goes a long way, and you can be anything you want to be.
And loudest arena you ever played in? Can you think of the loudest place where, like, man, I cannot hear myself thinking?
In the NBA?
Yeah.
I would say the loudest place is probably at the time Golden State Warriors. They was in Oakland before they moved to. Yeah. It used to be so loud in there. I couldn't hear my coach. I couldn't. It really was up to me to make sure everybody knew what was going on and everybody knew the plays and stuff, because you could not hear nothing in that arena. They always came out to support their team.
Awesome. Congratulations.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
DJ Augustin. Thank you, sir. Next, a visionary leader whose work helped introduce and grow high school bowling across Louisiana, creating opportunities for student athletes statewide. Here is Mr. Richard Bourgeois.
Bowling in Louisiana might look totally different today if it wasn't for the efforts of Rick Bourgeois. The love of bowling for Bourgeois started at a young age.
And when I was 10 years old, bowling had just exploded around the country because we had automatic pin spotters came out. And I got through my first ball in Lafayette Lanes. Fell in love with the game. I moved to Baton Rouge in the middle of my 7th grade year, probably 1961. Broadmoor had just opened. I was able to get on my bike the second day I was there and take my bowling ball and ride over to Circle Bowl, where I started bowling when I was very, very young.
That love turned into years of effort to help grow bowling in the state, eventually culminating to the year 1999, when Bourgeois began lobbying to make bowling an LHSAA sport. In 2002, the hard work paid off, but the work didn't stop for the bowling commissioner.
I could applaud Louisiana because, the administrators just jumped on it. They could see that what we found out, that about 90% of the people that actually start in high school bowling are people that aren't going to be participating in any other sport. It helps give the kids something to do, after school, and they go, from their school, they go straight to the bowling center, and they finish their matches, and they're home in time for supper, and hopefully they'll do their homework.
I'm very thankful for Rick and his efforts and what he's been able to do to not only birth it, but to raise it and to now grow it into something that's really become a significant player on the Louisiana high school sports scene.
We've jokingly called him the bowling commissioner because ever since the beginning, because of all his involvement in it. He traveled to a lot of these areas of the state and to a lot of the schools. And at one point, bowling was the fastest rising sport in the LHSAA, and a lot of that's because of his leg work.
Bowling has since exploded as an LHSAA sport, giving kids the chance to compete for state championships and for some, the opportunity to earn college athletic scholarships.
Last year I had 3 boys and 10 girls get NCAA scholarships. It continues to grow. We added about 10 schools this past year. I probably have almost 2,000 varsity athletes. This year the JV program has exploded.
Bourgeois still every year makes the bowling tournament a spectacle to behold. The fans are always roaring and the passion is unmatched. All thanks to the young bowler who chased his dream.
This is going to be the first bowling representative in the LHSAA Hall of Fame, and there's no one else that should have been the first one to get this honor.
Retirement isn't on the horizon for me, and I still love I love the sport, I love what we do, and I get to see kids have fun.
Ricky.
Testing. I hate a mic.
Told me to call him Ricky, not Richard. So, congratulations. And what does tonight mean to you?
Oh God, I was flabbergasted. Never even imagined it could ever happen, probably. I've been fortunate. I'm a bowler. I got to bowl collegiate for LSU. I'm in the Hall of Fame for Baton Rouge bowling. I've been state, but this was something that I never ever thought could happen.
Yeah. You ever bowl a perfect game?
More than a few.
Yeah.
Yes, I have, yes.
All right.
I did one in 71, 77, and 2012.
Wow.
So
When you bowl a perfect game, yeah. Is that like hitting for the cycle in baseball or something? You can't say, I'm going to try to bowl a perfect game today. Is that something that just kind of happens to an extent? Or
a lot of things have to, one time we were bowling, my oldest son bowls with me, and I started a game with 6 in a row, and he said, Daddy, you're halfway there. I said, in bowling, 9 in a row is halfway there. It's getting to the 10th frame.
yeah.
And that night, I ended up bowling a perfect game, and I hadn't done one since 77 to 2012. It's 35 years later.
Wow. Let's go to the bowling alley tonight. You want to give it a try? Or?
Look, I had, at one time, I had 13 bowling centers scattered around the country. I had circle bowl, plank bowl here. I had a couple in Lafayette. I still have 3 bowling centers, and I've been with the company, started in 1915 in the movie business in 1955, and we still have movie theaters and bowling around the country.
That's
So
awesome.
Yep.
Good stuff. You know, time gets away from us like that. It feels like, oh, yeah, they started bowling as a sport 5 years ago, 10 years ago. It's been over 2 decades now. And you have to be so proud to look at starting a sport. Anytime you get kids involved in something, that they're out doing something and not on their phones or staying inside, it's a great thing that you're doing there.
Well, our motto was always from 2 to 102. But I really do have to acknowledge what happened is that the association had a gentleman that was with Bowling USA, and they had done a presentation, and a friend of mine who owned the Women's National Tour, plus he was a proprietor, was supposed to come down to Louisiana and do a presentation with Jerry Stovall with the Sports Foundation. And he got the flu, and he couldn't speak, couldn't talk. So the day before he was supposed to come, they got me to go in his place. And Jerry Stovall and I did the presentation, and that was in 1999. And I'm a volunteer father, 26 years later, still doing the same thing, basically.
Awesome.
So,
Well, this is great because I think Kent Lowe has been kind of known as Mr. Bowling. We all know Kent. We love Kent. But this is a great story to tell tonight, to get out there to, recap your great career and all the things you've done for that sport.
well, I want to thank my family, and I had about 8 or 9 coaches come that have been with me since 2000. I think they have about 8 or 10 championships between them. And that, look, y'all, again, I appreciate all the principals and all the coaches, what you've done to give an opportunity, because I've had hundreds of kids get to bowl NCAA scholarships because of what the Louisiana Athletics Association did. So I very much thank y'all for this honor and award.
Awesome.
Appreciate y'all. Thank you.
Good deal. Richard Bourgeois. Our next inductee starred at Southern Lab before helping LSU reach 4 consecutive Final Fours, later returning home to coach her alma mater to 3 state championships. Please welcome Quianna Chaney.
Didn't get the call. Hardrick has her pocket pick. Chaney's got it. Chaney's going to go one-on-one, lays it up and in.
Imagine doing a Q&A with Q. That's the nickname for Hall of Famer Quianna Chaney, who won 3 straight titles at Southern Lab, then made 4 straight Final Fours at LSU. First question, is it possible she was born with basketball on the brain?
Well, my mom would say when we would take pictures, obviously when she take her kids to go take pictures, and I get to pick between the toy, that I would pick the basketball. That's the only thing that I picked. The guy dumped the toys out, the ball rolled out of, let's say under the table or something. And I bypassed all the toys and went and found this basketball. And she said she knew ever since then that I was gonna play basketball.
She's been chasing that ball and success in the sport since she showed up at Southern Lab to play for head coach Henry Combs, even if she didn't play right away.
I stepped in as a 6th grader, felt like I should have been starting, crying because I couldn't. So going through that whole spiel. But I did have some vets in front of me that did set the tone to come underneath. And Courtney Simmons and Deshaun Singleton and Tangi Thomas, all those, will me in and help me.
Let's get to what's at hand.
Coach Combs asked me one question. He said, do you want to be the best shooter in the world, or you want to be the best shooter just like right now? I'm like, I want to be like the best shooter. So it was coming in, getting shots, whether it's coming in early, coming in late, getting, at that time, back in the day, it was like you get up 100 shots a day. But now, you got to get about 1,000, 2,000 shots just to stay ahead of the game. But I actually allowed him to critique and change my game. And I think that's what a lot of young kids are missing nowadays, you may think they know it all, but I tell people all the time, I didn't get here alone. Like this, I can't take full credit for this. My parents, my support system, everybody, the village.
And she followed a decade in pro ball by fulfilling another dream, following in his footsteps as head coach at her alma mater. Restoring the roar of the once mighty Kittens, who have now claimed 3 more titles in a row, this hoops dreamer has rolled with the punches, whether celebrating success with her team, touching off celebrations with her uncanny shooting touch that led this Miss Louisiana basketball to scoring nearly 2,200 points for the Lady Tigers.
Long range Chaney with 4, 30-footer, buries it from downtown. And I'm not lying when I told you it was about 30 feet. She shot it from about where the L is on the court.
Well, the clock was going down, so I know I have range, so I know I can maybe pull up from anywhere.
I still can't believe it. People be like, what's up, Hall of Famer? And I'm just like, it's just amazing that people still remember who you are. And that's one thing that Coach Combs always asks, how do you want to be remembered? And for all this to be happening, people remembering what you've done, lets me know that I did something good. I did good. I gave back to the community like I wanted to give back. whoever did that video, I was Caitlin Clark before Caitlin Clark existed. I just want to let y'all guys know that.
Oh, this is fun. We've done this a few times over the years.
Absolutely.
Southern Lab, whether it's boys basketball, girls basketball, there is a standard at that place to uphold, and you certainly did it not only as a player but as a coach. What does that mean to you?
Oh, man. Wow. Try not to cry. My teammate made a bet that I wouldn't cry, so I'm trying not to cry. I mean, my classmate. But I can say that it's definitely an honor to watch the video and to see all those things that I've accomplished. And being at Southern Lab helped shape and mold me who I am today. And shout out to my Southern Lab family that's here and my parents and everybody. Thank you guys for coming. But I wouldn't be who I am today without the support system.
Yeah. And as a coach, you just dominated so much. I'm bored with this. I'm moving on to college now. Every year you coached, you won a state title, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Except one.
Okay.
Yeah, except one.
Well, you could have lied. You wouldn't have caught. But I just remember you had 3 straight titles.
Mm-hmm.
What is your style as a coach?
Well, I would just say based off the coaches that I played for, whether it's AAU, playing for Coach Combs in high school, playing for at the time Pokey Chapman and Van Chancellor, you kind of pick up your coaching philosophy of how you want to run your team whenever you think you're going to have the opportunity to coach. And I would just say just a combination of all those people, all those coaches that allowed to coach me and critique my game, just taking things and coming up with my own. And I would just say, just like you said, Southern Lab has a standard, right? And so just coming up with that standard, the toughness, the grit, how to compete. I think a lot of kids nowadays are lacking in just how to compete. And so just carrying that on, and that helped shape and mold me who I am today. I started the foundation, not just as an athlete, but as a person. And just having that instilled in you and just continue to be successful.
A national championship obviously eclipses everything. That's what you strive to do.
Right.
But LSU, since then, hasn't done it.
Mm-hmm.
And before you were there, they never did it. 5 straight Final Fours is one heck of an accomplishment. You were 4 for 4 in your career. Every year you played at LSU, you went to the Final Four.
Mm-hmm.
And the greatest game, or one of the greatest games I ever saw LSU play, Gino Auriemma, UConn, Fresno, California, you beat them like a drum that night.
Right.
And you were a big part of that. And I was like, wow, this is pretty cool, right?
Yes, 4 Final Fours, all 4, and at that time coming in, the program was 5th one. But to be amongst the great, I got an opportunity to play alongside Simone Augustus and then Tamika Johnson. So to have those vets come before you, Big Seal, have those vets come before you, and the Fab Five come in, because it was me, Seal, Rashante LeBlanc, Ashley Thomas, Erica White. So to have the Fab Five come in, what they called us, and then have those vets in front of us to, you talk about the standard. So they set the standard, and we took advantage of the opportunity that we had, because most athletes come into a situation and don't have people there that they can follow behind. Right, and so having those people, watching Simone, watching Tamika at practice, and Simone was definitely a player that you wanted to watch. So is Tamika with her leadership, and so just having those people in front of you and guiding them. We had no choice but to go to 4 Final Fours. Only thing we was missing was the national championship. So that's still a bummer, but not many people can say that they've been to 4 straight Final Fours.
Yeah. It was a heck of a run. Every year you got in there, you were going deep, right?
Right.
And finally, what does it mean like to see a statue of Simone go up? And
finally, it was overdue. And I'm glad that it happened. She deserves it. She deserves everything that has happened since she's got the statue and I think she was just inducted to the EBR Hall of Fame. So yeah, she definitely deserves it. Again, having a homegrown kid like that for athletes and student athletes to look up to is very important. Even watching DJ Augustin's video to see how he has his floor and a memorial, memoir of him at his high school. Kids need to see those things. They need to see names in the rafters and say, hey, I want to be like one of those. I believe last time I was here, Rebecca Marshall was getting inducted to the Hall of Fame. And I said to myself, I was like, man, I can't wait if I ever get the opportunity. And I never forget Mr. Bristol said, Coach, you up next. And I'm like, who, me? Nah, Mr. Bristol, nah. And look, now I'm here on the stage, and then like I say, it's definitely truly an honor.
All right. Congratulations,
Thank you.
Quianna Chaney. Now a legend in Louisiana sports media, for more than 4 decades, he championed high school athletics and created Friday Night Football, bringing statewide attention to student athletes. Tonight, we honor the legacy of Ed Daniels.
Welcome to Know-It-Alls, the game where it really does pay to know New Orleans. The nation's longest home winning streak is now 22 games.
Everyone is looking for the perfect setup. I think we found it. It's a punch, then a blade. The Saints defense made Peyton Manning throw the football quickly.
He might have just been the most versatile and hardworking broadcaster New Orleans has ever seen. But perhaps more than anything, Ed Daniels was and will forever be synonymous with Friday Night Football.
He was tremendous in covering the Saints, the Pelicans, LSU, Tulane, and every other entity. There's no question that he was best known for his high school coverage. And what he created in television in New Orleans was unbelievable.
The impact that show had and the impact that other shows that are like that have on young people's lives is such a positive thing. And Ed was a pioneer.
Welcome to Week 5 of Friday Night Football.
Ken Trahan called him his best friend since their high school days at Rummel, and simply the best at his job.
Just getting started. Some action.
The legendary coach of the Patriots was instrumental in getting the show off the ground and on the air after Daniels, a casualty of budget cuts at WDSU, who picked up lots of freelance gigs, finally landed on his feet at WGNO to form prep football's dynamic duo, although there were naturally some questions about partiality.
So the guy at Jesuit thinks he likes Brother Martin, the guy at Brother Martin thinks he likes Rummel, the guy at Rummel thinks he likes John Curtis. That tells you you're doing your job right.
All my preparation and all the work was focused on what we were going to do when that ball kicked off on Friday night. Well, he felt the same way about the show now. And if it wasn't done right, he would get upset and he would let us know.
I definitely stayed away from him on Fridays. In fact, he had one of the t-shirts that he made for Friday Night Football. It says, "It's Friday," and he would say, "It's Friday." The stringers would call in sick, so I'd have to go and try to chart the games. He fired me twice.
Daniels set such a high standard, not only with his new baby, but the Herculean effort that went into everything else he was already doing before its birth in the fall of 1992.
It wasn't just 6 and 10, and that's what made him so special. He lived this, he breathed this, and a friend of mine told me he never worked a day in his life because he loved what he did so much.
They created a basketball tournament, All-State Sugar Bowl Prep Classic. He created a baseball tournament, WGNO Prep Baseball Classic. Created a flag football event.
This 3-time Louisiana Sportscaster of the Year did so much more that can't be squeezed into a resume or a 3-minute story. But Eddie D meant the world to so many, privately spanning his 5 decades of public life.
He just had such a way about him when he's talking about high school sports that you could see his blue eyes would just shine because he just loved it so much. He really did.
He was a fine Christian man. His testimony was about his life, not just about what he said. At his funeral, I made reference to him singing in the choir. And I said, he's singing in a heavenly choir today.
I wish he could be here to see this. He loved high school sports more than anything else. And the LHSAA was so important to him. So kudos, Ed. Love you, brother.
Well, they always would try to teach us in school, the reporter's not the story is the story. Don't interject yourself. Don't try to become a star. And I think Ed was the epitome of that. He was out to share stories, spotlight people, not himself. And I guess in an ironic sense, when you do that, you do become a star. Is that what you witnessed?
Yes. I mean, even at Ed's funeral, I remember talking like Ed was never the story. He always wanted to be in the background and report on the story. Like that was, he never wanted the attention, but it was, he loved so much. If we'd go out to dinner and people would interrupt our dinner, and especially athletes, and they would say, "You covered me in this game, and I did this," and Ed would stop and say, "And your name, sir?" And he would respond, and his name, Ed knew everything, all the stats. He said, "You did this play at this game this year."
Yeah.
It was quite impressive.
Yeah, I was joking with you about that. We're weird like that. You know, 1988, what was the score of the LSU-Auburn game? 7-6. What'd you have for lunch today? I forgot.
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
it's
Yes.
you spit that stuff out, and Ed is that way.
Yes.
I had a great time. We would sit in the press box. We'd do Jim Hawthorne impressions. We'd, you know, joke around. We were big kids up in that press box. And then the high school football show, you know.
Friday night, yes.
Yeah, you know, I worked for a great man and great mentor in Steve Schneider. We used to joke that Steve and Ed were brothers from a different mother. They were the exact same person. Both started big-time high school football shows in Baton Rouge and New Orleans, and great people get copied. Then we're going to start a high school football show now. So Ed was a pioneer, really, in that regard.
Yes, yes, he was, and he, I think he covered high school sports in Louisiana for 45 years. 45 years,
yeah.
And at Rummel, high school in Rummel, he and Kenny were together, and they're like the same thing you just said, like brothers from a different mother.
Yeah.
Like they could quote stats from people, and I had no idea. I didn't even know who Ed was when we were meeting. Like I had no idea.
Yeah, yeah. Kenny is definitely in that same category. The story is the story. The people are who you feature, and you know, it is the greatest job in the world. It's fun. It's not on a roof. It's not digging a ditch. But at the same time, you think about all the hours you put in on a Friday. You do a high school football show at 11 o'clock at night. You're done at midnight. You can't turn off the brain until whatever, go to bed. Oh, by the way, LSU's playing a 2:30 kickoff tomorrow. You're in Baton Rouge, or you're in Oxford, or you're in Starkville. Oh, the Saints have a noon game. Okay, back to New Orleans. You know, it's just running on adrenaline and so many hours invested into it.
Like we talked about earlier. I mean, he
Yeah.
would, Thursday, it's not that he was off, but that was a home day. And Robert knows. I mean, it was, like I say, he was off, but he was doing scoreboards or tickers or whatever it's called. And that's what he did on Thursdays. Friday was all day. You don't ever call that on a Friday. Actually, I have a T-shirt. It's Friday. So it's high school football, which is what Ed loved.
Yeah.
And Saturday LSU, Sunday Saints. But I think more than anything, of all the awards Ed was given in his lifetime and in his heavenly life, like this award would mean the most to him because it's high school. And he loved high school sports. He loved covering these athletes. And he loved watching these high school athletes turn into college athletes or pro athletes or whatever. And more than anything, like, see these high school athletes achieve their dreams.
Yeah.
I think out of everything, this was the most important to him.
Absolutely. You did a wonderful job, beautiful job. Thank you for being here tonight.
Thank you. Thank you.
Ed said, damn it, you dropped the microphone on the floor. It was me, it's my fault. She said she always told Ed to hold the microphone in his left hand to let all the ladies know he was married and taken. Don't talk to Ed. Ed is a big, tall, handsome man. One last time, round of applause for Robin. All right, folks, we're going to take a quick 2-minute commercial break. Stay with us. There's plenty more to come.
The LHSAA Network TV app features a 24/7 live channel as well as on-demand content with all the high school sports you want, and it's totally free. The app is available for download on TV-connected devices, including Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire TV. It's the only place where every day is game day. Download the LHSAA Network TV app today.
Dude, you're looking ice cold.
You look ice cold, bro.
Hey guys, somebody's coming. Somebody's coming.
Let's do it.
There comes a day
When I'll be the one
you dream.
it's gonna.
It's gonna be me.
Dude, are you crying?
Some make it their main career. Some give a weekend a month. All we need are the moments. In the Air Force, how you serve is more important than how much you serve. You always get more out than what you put in. Full-time, part-time, in or out of uniform. How many moments can you give?
For over 100 years, our families have gathered together to share with each other our challenges and hopes, to take this light we've been gifted and paint a brighter future for the next generation. The seeds we plant today are the bounty we harvest tomorrow. As farmers, we know that together we're stronger than we could ever be apart. We're the Louisiana Farm Bureau, and we're the voice of Louisiana agriculture.
All right. Welcome back to the 48th Annual Louisiana High School Sports Hall of Fame Induction Ceremony. What a night it's been so far, and we're just getting started. From championship sidelines, have to call an audible. Well, that's fine. From championship sidelines to public service, our next inductee built a remarkable career as both a coach and community leader in Baton Rouge. Let's take a look at beloved coach turned mayor president, Sid Edwards.
Simply put, Emile Sid Edwards is entering the Hall of Fame for wins on Friday nights in the fall. Many at a place they called the Rock for Redemptorist, which no longer exists. Yet relationships probably best define this coaching icon, who's been anything but simple, orchestrating iconic moments. Moments felt long after his tenure with the Wolves or the Wildcats in 17 years at Central.
I've coached softball, I've coached track and field. I have basketball is my true love, actually, always was. My coaching career actually started when I was 16. I coached a neighborhood girls softball team.
Edwards often credits Grambling and McKinley legend Eddie Robinson, Catholic High Florida State and NFL star Warwick Dunn, and Bears head coach Dale Weiner and his staff for planting his first seeds of success at his first high school job as an assistant
Wing
coach.
left. Loaded option right switch on one.
He was a riverboat gambler and the trick plays, and the game was so much fun. But Dale not only won a lot of football games, Dale, here again, changed the landscape of football in Baton Rouge.
Weiner's son Neil, his offensive lineman David Brewerton, and Wolves wrestling champ Guy Mastretta among many mainstays of his first staff that made a meteoric rise on the campus in North Baton Rouge.
We were the right people at the right time. Redemptress was seeing a resurgence in enrollment. Things were coming back up. I was the second oldest at 35 years old on that staff. So I had a lot of young guys, a lot of familiar names in the Baton Rouge area. And those guys just breathe, sleep, and ate, football, 24/7. And just a hard-working, smart group of them.
With 3 trips to the Dome and 2 state titles before Mastretta added a third, the Wolfpack got there first, knocking off Patterson's Lumberjacks in 3A.
It was just pretty emotional deal to a collective group of people all pulling together to make that happen for that North Baton Rouge school was really special.
And then they stepped up to 4A to take down perennial power John Curtis the very next year.
We won state championships, but I never had to win them to be validated with who I am and why I was doing this.
Stops at Jesuit in New Orleans and Menard in Alexandria before one final stop at once proud Estruma led to a surprising victory. 203 football wins at 5 schools spanning 27 years, not to mention basketball victories. Yet Edwards shuns the idea that the head coach won any of those games.
I lost a few for us, but the games were won by the players and the assistant coaches. And I sit in this Hall of Fame room here, and I look at all the faces and all the history, and it's absolutely outstanding. But to all my brothers and sisters out there who won't make this room, there are many that deserve to be in this room. But our world is dictated by won or loss. I know there are coaches, especially in the inner city, where I spent the last 2 years of my career, that work just as hard, they're just as smart. They may not have the resources. I'm honored to be here. I just want to recognize all the folks that may not get here. They're in God's Hall of Fame for the work they do for youth. And the one saying I've always had, and I think it's going to be the name of my book, is it's more than just 10 Friday nights.
Well, Coach, congratulations.
That means a lot. I appreciate it, Jacques.
Yeah, I see your video there. I think about your old rival and friend and the late Kenny Guillotte at Parkview, and he talked about, look, we won a lot of state championships, but none of us ever got into this because we wanted to win state championships. Obviously, that's the goal. That's what you want to do. But the connections with the young men you coach, the relationships you build, those are the things that you remember as the years pass.
Absolutely. I mean, that's why I was in it. And like I was quoted on the video, it's more than 10 Friday nights. As most coaches, we're not going to identify ourselves by wins or losses. That would cheapen what we do.
I've never seen you scream and yell. You're not one of those coaches. You did things a different way and still were very successful doing it. How would you describe the way you went about, and you delegated a lot too, to your coaches?
Well, there's a table in shock that you said that. My children are sitting right there, and my wife and my mom, no, they heard me yell a few times.
Yeah.
It's just my demeanor. I mean, I had a switch. You know, those that played for me very rarely saw it, but when it went off, it'd go off. But it was just my demeanor.
Yeah.
You know, I was always confident, and I had great people surrounding me. You know, like I said, my assistant coaches and the players are the ones who won all those football games.
I think I asked you a while back, do you miss it? And you said maybe you miss Friday nights. There's a lot of other things that go into Friday night that are pretty grueling that lead up to it, that are part of it. But where do you stand now?
I went to some football games this year, and I was surprised I didn't really feel it. You know, 'cause I'm so busy dealing with these other players I'm dealing with now. But but I miss the kids. The game itself, as of right now, I'm not missing it. But just being with those 14 through 18-year-old age group and the young men and women, I miss that.
Did you ever win a game that was as big of an upset as you becoming the mayor of Baton Rouge?
Nope, because I can tell you, when we beat John Curtis in the Superdome, that was a pretty big deal. But no, this was the biggest upset in the history of my career, I promise.
Yeah. Well, congratulations on that. I told you they put up the preliminary numbers one early on and said Sid Edwards had 20% of the vote, and we all looked and we're like, he's got a chance.
You know it. Hey, just any percent.
Yeah. What about the coaching tree, too? The Neil Weiners, the David Brewertons, the guys that you have coached that have gone on to winning state champions themselves.
Well, I'm so very proud of them all. You know, Milton Broussard was the oldest guy on my staff at Redemptorist. Then it was me at 34 years old, and everybody was younger than me. I was hiring them off of the conveyor belt at college, you know, just, hey, come on and join the staff. And those are some great men, and I'm just really proud of everything they've accomplished.
All right. Anything else you'd like to add?
I just, you know, I was Ms. Daniels. I enjoyed what she had to say, and if I had to add anything, in that Hall of Fame room, there's a story behind every plaque in there, and the story is someone, a family that had to support any of us that are in that room. There's no way we could have done it ourselves, the families that sacrificed. And to my family, you know, my children, my friends who are here support me, my mom, and then in particular, who should be in the Hall of Fame is my wife, because she had to take care of everything else while I chased a dream. Thank you.
Awesome. Well, I'm just going to keep calling you Coach, because you're Coach.
Hey, I tell people all the time, I am Coach. Mayor's just what I'm doing right now.
There you go. Congratulations, Sid. Our next inductee is one of the most accomplished basketball coaches in Louisiana history, with more than 800 wins and 6 state championships. A true trailblazer. And she might have set a record for most tickets at this event ever sold. Please welcome Coach Gladys Hamlin Edwards.
That's what we said in sports. She put waterproof on the map.
That is what Gladys Edwards is known for. The former waterproof girls basketball head coach has a story that is as impressive as it gets. She is the epitome of hard work and discipline, something that was instilled in her very early in life.
I always say hard work will pay off. And the reason I say it is because I came from a plantation, no running water, no gas, no electric lights. No grocery store within 10 miles from our house. One year, the white man told my daddy, "You owe me some money." And my mother called me in, I must have been about 50. I was in elementary school. And she said, Gladys, I can't get you anything this year for Christmas, but I want you to go to school. Always do your best. You might not be the best, but you do the very best that you possibly can in everything that you do. And one day, every day can be Christmas for you. And that's what made me work hard. I might not have been the best, but I did my very best in everything that I did.
Coach Gladys coached at Tensas Rosenwald and Waterproof, where she held all of her teams to a high standard. That's why she finished with 820 career victories, winning State Coach of the Year 3 times and claiming 6 state titles.
The first thing you got to do with the kids, be firm, friendly, and fair with all of them. Treat all of them alike. And you have to know your students, and I instill in them. Do your best when you come in here.
She was a good coach, and we knew she meant everything, trying to help us and instill hard work and play in us. So
whatever I tell them to do, they know that I expect them to do it, and I believe they can do it. And I had them believing.
We scrimmage a lot of times against the boys, she said it made us tough, and she told the boys don't take any pity on them, play hard, and that made us play harder.
Coach Edwards' impact stretched beyond the girls' basketball program. She was the first female assistant coach for an LHSAA Boys Top 24 team.
If the basketball coach, several times he got thrown out the game. When he got thrown out the game, then I had to go coach the boys basketball. I never had an assistant coach. He never had an assistant coach. It was all right with me when he asked me to go, because I'd been with him all the while.
When Coach Edwards was surprised with her induction to the Louisiana High School Sports Hall of Fame, she remembered one thing, a message instilled in her by her mother. Hard work will always pay off.
I couldn't help but shed tears because my mother had put this in me, hard work will pay off. And it did pay off. And it hurt me because my mother and my brother, wherever I went in the playoff time, those two was there. And neither one of them are here to enjoy what they instilled in me.
You sit wherever you want. Did y'all all come on a bus or what? What does tonight mean to you?
It's on.
Yeah.
The night means so much to me. And as I think about tonight, when I was a little girl, no one never dreamed a girl would come from a plantation all the way to the Louisiana Hall of Fame. I'm a true believer. Hard work will pay off. 5 words.
I would imagine that you maximized every opportunity that you ever were given.
I did.
Yeah.
Whatever they told me to do, I did my very best. Let me tell you one thing. I worked at a cafe, and I took my mother's place. When I finished college, I didn't have a job. My mother was working for 6 o'clock in the morning to 2 o'clock in the afternoon. She had to walk about 4 miles to the job. And she worked at the biggest cafe in Bastrop. And it was sitting right in the middle of town. And she had to wash dishes. This store over here wanted a hamburger. She had to stop washing dishes and run take a hamburger. Come back, wash dishes. She got to stop running, take this man a cup of coffee. And she did that for years for me, working $3 a day from 6 to 2. Running up. Let me tell you something. You know, I don't do a whole lot of tipping when I go eat out. And the reason I don't do it is because I work from 6 to 2 o'clock, washing dishes, running here, taking a hamburger, running here, a cup of coffee. Come back and wash dishes. And I'm hustling. And about 1:30, the waitress come in and they count their tips. And they would have tipped about $21 that day. I washed dishes from 6 to 2 o'clock for $3. I don't care how I ran all over town. No one ever gave me a nickel for a tip.
Yeah.
But it didn't stop me from working hard.
That's right. Let's talk about basketball for a second.
All right.
You won 82% of your games. What were the fundamentals of your coaching? What did you, when you get those young ladies in there, what are you pounding into them?
One thing, I had a bunch of young ladies wanting to play basketball. Next thing, I coached 36 years without an assistant coach. I had 60 minutes, but not 60 minutes, about 45 minutes to practice for 1 hour. I practiced the whole year, 1 hour. My players knew when they came in that gym, they running. You get dressed.
Yeah.
Because I got to use all my time. I have a schedule. And I got to follow.
Is that because the boys needed the court, or why 1 hour? Why did you only get 1 hour to coach?
Because they lived in the country.
I got you.
And the principal gave me 1 hour.
Got you.
For all the girls, basketball girls to come together from 1 to 2.
Yeah. How many of your former players do you stay in touch with?
They still come running to my house now.
You live up in the Bastrop area, the northeast Louisiana. Is that where you live?
Right.
Yeah. My mother's from there, so I've been
I
there
live
many
in
times.
Franklin Parish.
Yeah.
Now.
So what would you like to share that you haven't shared yet?
I would like to share this with everyone. It doesn't make any difference where you come from. It's what you want to be. And whatever you want to be, you do your very best to be what you want to be. You got to work hard. And sometimes you might have to work a little bit harder than you want to. But if I instill in my basketball players that you could they could beat the Lakers. And you know what? Some of them are crazy enough to think they could.
That's it. We're going to come back tomorrow night, and it's just going to be you. How about that? Well, congratulations on a amazing career. I'm doing this to compliment you. You're 91? 91 years young. You ran up on this stage like a sprinter.
Hard work. I've been working hard all my days.
Yeah.
So I'm used to moving.
That's it. Yeah. Willie Nelson said, you slow down, you go down. So you just keep moving.
That's right.
That's it. Well, congratulations. It was a pleasure to visit with you.
Thank you.
All right. Alexis, you got a hard act to follow, I tell you. Just kidding. All right. A multi-sport standout and one of the greatest scorers in Louisiana history, she went on to shine at Mississippi State and beyond. Here is Alexis Rack.
Alexis Rack's love for basketball started developing when she was a kid, growing up playing basketball with her brothers. The former Franklin's girls basketball standout recalled when she realized that on the court is where she wanted to be.
Well, I knew I was more interested in basketball when I was the only girl, and all my other friends would be on the side watching growing up. And maybe my freshman year in high school, when I played basketball in New Orleans, that's when I said, oh, maybe I could do this.
While in high school, Rack helped guide Franklin to 2 state titles and was Louisiana's Miss Basketball in 2006.
My teammates and I, we played together since 10 years together, and we went to high school. We said, okay, we're going to win a state championship. Freshman year, we got out the first round to Turlins, and then the second year we made it to the state championship, and we ended up playing Turlins, and then to finally win it was like, oh y'all, we did it.
Rack went on to play at Mississippi State, where she was an all-SEC player. The transition from high school to college was an experience that really grew her mindset.
So we were athletes who knew the game of basketball. On the college level, you had to be fundamentally sound, and you have to be an athlete and know the game to grow in your IQ mentally. So that was a challenge, and I've always been a person to accept challenges and eager to overcome them.
There's one person who stands out as Alexis's hero and role model.
My mother will always be my hero and the person that I look up to. And I want her legacy to carry on through me. My mom always worked hard and sacrificed so much for me not to be great.
Rack went on to play in the WNBA and overseas. The former Franklin star might have seen basketball on all levels and all around the world, but she's never forgotten where she came from.
I would thank all of them who laid the foundation and made it available and cleared the path for me to play.
Things came full circle for Rack when she stepped into a coaching role at Franklin after her playing days concluded.
It was different to have to coach at Franklin High, and not only coach but be the boys coach. So that was different, and to coach with someone that I grew up with.
It means a lot for Rack to finally have this kind of an honor in her home state.
Well, I remember getting the accolades when I went to school and in Mississippi, but to have something at home and to be recognized at home is truly a blessing.
Alexis, congratulations.
Thank you.
You look great. That's a heck of an outfit, too, by the way.
Thank you. I had help picking it out.
Yeah? Well, what does tonight mean to you?
Tonight, just grateful. That's the first thing. I want to thank God for blessing me with this opportunity. And as you see from the screams, we have a lot of support from back home. From a small town, in Franklin. So I'd like to thank my parents who laid a foundation, solid foundation, I might add, if I don't say so myself, who laid a solid foundation for me to be successful. My oldest brother, Todrick, who started my brother and I, Wildrick, off with sports. My other brother, Wildrick, who was my personal trainer growing up. He didn't know it at the time, but for me to grow up with my own personal trainer, it kind of paid off in the long run. My uncles who are here, my pastor, T.J. Andrus, my sorority sisters who are here, my coaches from Mississippi State drove all the way down. So Coach Fannin, thank you. Coach Rogers, thank you. And just the community for Franklin, and two more. We have the mayor of Franklin who's here, the mayor pro temp who's here, and my mother who's the city councilwoman.
There you go. I'm just looking at the dates. You played against Q a few times. Huh?
I did. Yeah. We're not going to say the outcome.
Oh.
But we played once or twice, and it didn't show it in the interview, but Q is someone who I always looked up to. Southern Lab kind of set the foundation and set the bar high for us. And my Coach Ronnie Lewis, who's also here, he went to school at Southern, and he always had the connection to Southern Lab, and it will always come down to make sure we are able to grow as young athletes.
Awesome. Well, like Q, you were an outside shooter. I read your bio and looked at some of your video. You were described as a deadly outside shooter at Mississippi State. I think you made 343s or something like that during your career over there. And so when does that start, shooting from the outside? When do you realize, hey, I'm pretty good behind the arc? Because you can't miss for many times back there. They tell you, hey, drive it in and stop shooting from back there, right?
Right. I really don't recall when it started. Maybe in high school. My coach, like a few others said, he changed my shot a few times. So I started being a little more confident, and then I put in a little more work when I went to college. Yeah. So it kind of continued.
I think Starkville gets a bad rap.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
You know, if you ask me if I want to spend the night in New York City or Starkville, I'll take Starkville. Nice, quiet country, right? I mean, how did you enjoy your years at Mississippi State?
Oh, I loved it. I'm from a small town, so going to Starkville, it was like home for a second home for me. So I was glad to go.
Fit right in. Uh-huh. Now, you're a principal these days?
Yes, I am.
So, did you ever think as a kid, I'm going to be in a position of authority one day, and I'm going to be the principal of the school?
No. My goal was to be a research and development chemist, and that's how the Lord works. You tell him what you want to do, and he'll show you. So my mother was a teacher. My dad, he was the marshal. So I wanted to follow my own footsteps, and then of course, I followed into hers.
Yeah. Well, and God works in mysterious ways too. Your last name, Alexis, rack, basketball, take the ball to the rack, right? I mean, that all just played in perfectly.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It always worked out. When I watch my games back, I vividly recall Alexis rack to the rack, which is always interesting.
Awesome. Well, congratulations on your special night.
Thank you so much.
All right. All right, well, don't go anywhere. We're going to take another quick break, 2 minutes, and we'll be right back.
The LHSAA Network TV app features a 24/7 live channel as well as on-demand content with all the high school sports you want, and it's totally free. The app is available for download on TV-connected devices, including Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire TV. It's the only place where every day is game day. Download the LHSAA Network TV app today.
Dude, you're looking ice cold.
You look ice cold, bro. Guys, somebody's coming. Somebody's coming.
Let's do it.
There comes a day when I'll be the one you dream. It's gonna be me.
Dude, are you crying?
Some make it their main career. Some give a weekend a month. All we need are the moments. In the Air Force, how you serve is more important than how much you serve. You always get more out than what you put in. Full-time, part-time, in or out of uniform. How many moments can you give?
For over 100 years, our families have gathered together to share with each other our challenges and hopes, to take this light we've been gifted and paint a brighter future for the next generation. The seeds we plant today are the bounty we harvest tomorrow. As farmers, we know that together we're stronger than we could ever be apart. We're the Louisiana Farm Bureau, and we're the voice of Louisiana agriculture.
All right, welcome back again. Hey, 2 minutes is 2 minutes. It's not, honey, I'll be ready in 2 minutes, that kind of 2 minutes. It's 2 minutes on the dot. Welcome back once again. And if you're just joining us, you've missed an incredible group of inductees, but we've still got more Louisiana legends to honor. Next up, a legendary cross-country and track coach whose teams captured multiple state championships while shaping generations of student athletes. Please welcome Coach Wally Smith.
When Wally Smith was leaving college with an engineering degree, he might have never imagined he would end up being a teacher and cross-country coach. But one day, everything changed for Smith.
When I was 45, God gave me a message that I was in the wrong career. And long story short, I moved from my engineering career to coaching and teaching. So at 45 years old, I was a rookie teacher, a rookie cross-country coach, and a rookie track coach. And all my heroes at that then were way younger than me. Joe Morrow, Pete Boudreau, Chaney. So at 45 years old, I became a rookie. And it was, I never regretted a day of it, right? All the ups and downs, both teaching and taught all the math courses, ended up doing religion courses, and it just was a great adventure.
Smith embarked on a legendary journey coaching Louisiana cross country that saw his Menard Eagle teams claim 13 team titles and 11 runner-up finishes. But at first, winning wasn't everything.
From the first day to my last day, that was always the goal. Individual work ethic and succeeding. And if we won, that was always icing on the cake.
But just like his career, on one rainy day at the state meet at Highland Road Park, everything changed.
And we all run our times, and everybody's disgusted, and they come up and say, "Congratulations, we came in second. Our girls got their first state trophy," and that changed things again too. So from then on, we, of course, PRs were always the goal, but now people started thinking about, maybe we could do something here.
And despite all the winning Coach Smith was able to do with the Eagles, his proudest moments come from mix-ups his athletes made.
In the heat of the moment, one of these kids would say, "Dad," just by mistake, call me Dad. that was a highlight, right? And some of these runners came from maybe less than perfect families, whatever, and it was sort of their livelihood. They found success in an area where they didn't have much success in the other parts of their life.
Smith now enters the LHSAA Hall of Fame in the class of 2026 and will have his name enshrined next to his heroes from when he first started coaching. Menard Cross Country forever changed with his help.
When I went over there was none of this kind of thinking was there. I just knew I was supposed to be hanging out with these kids and being a part of their lives. The winning all was icing on the cake.
Only she sits here on this side. And me. So you found your calling at 45, huh? I mean, you think you got it figured out, or you try to figure it out, and then it comes to you, huh?
I guess figuring out would be a lifetime process.
Sure.
But I'd say this about figuring it out. You know, back in 1988, when I read a book by a guy for Lent without any kind of plans to it, and I came out of that Lent saying I was in the wrong job. And by that fall, I was a rookie teacher and a rookie coach.
Yeah.
And I've loved every year of it.
Absolutely. Tremendous success over the years. There's something about that sport, too, that's special. It's a lot of Saturday mornings, right? You're getting out there. A lot of people going to the football game the night before. It's kind of you against the world to an extent.
You know, when they graduate, one of the things they come back and say is, I loved every bit of it except those 4 o'clocks on Saturday morning when we were going off to Baton Rouge.
Exactly. And what about the young people you coached over the years, the connections you made with them, and how many do you keep up with and so forth?
You know, when you're in God's will, everything's a blessing. And working with these kids was every day a great adventure. I mean, all types of kids, all tall and short, fast and slow, but they were all great. My best story is probably the worst runner I ever had. Couldn't break 30 minutes for 2 miles. But she had more enthusiasm, and when she did break 30 that one year, you'd think she'd won the state championship. It was just that kind of sport.
And that is important. That's your responsibility kind of as a coach. Don't let them quit. Keep them involved. Keep them in the system.
That was coaching was really simple. Work hard, have fun.
Yeah. Running that far doesn't sound fun, though.
Well those 12 400s was,
yeah.
Right. I tried to tell them it was fun.
Yeah. What's the process of that during the week? How much are they running leading up to Saturday?
Well, different runners had different things, but and some I had runners whose goal was to be the state champion, and I had runners whose goal was to finish 2 miles, and we never turned anybody down. Everybody who wanted to run, they got to run, and it was always an adventure.
That's awesome. How do you? What are some other things you'd like to share about your career and working there in Alexandria and everything you've seen?
Well, you know, back in '80, we moved here from Nashville, Tennessee, slightly bigger than Alexandria. And at the time, I was in my engineering career, and we never dreamed we'd be here very long.
Yeah.
Just moving on. And of course, that was 45 years ago, 46 years ago now. And we dearly love Alexandria. And this thing about Actually, I need to blame my son that I actually did this career. He was a good runner over at Menard, but they didn't really have much of a program. I was running a lot, and I started going over after school and immediately fell in love with the environment and working with the boys, started a girls team, and that was back when the girls, if they wanted to run, they had to run with the boys, right? Because there weren't any girls competition up in Alexandria. But
it's a smaller school, so maybe you had to work hard to put a team together, maybe recruit a little bit in the hallways, huh?
Well, as a teacher, you're right.
Yeah, good deal. Well, congratulations on an amazing career, and I know it has to feel good to spotlight the sport as well.
Yes. Most times when you go recruit, they'd say, "What?" I'm going to run. I'm not a runner. But that was some of the best runners I had were not runners. All right, but they were good students, had good work ethics, and once they figured out that they could do it, it was heaven on earth.
Yeah, and they were better that you coached them. So,
well, hope so.
Congratulations, well deserved.
Thank you.
A dominant multi-sport athlete at Edna Karr High School, he went on to become an NFL standout and one of the elite defensive backs of his era. Here is Patrick Surtain.
Patrick Surtain might have never expected a career that led him all the way to the highest level of football from his humble beginnings in New Orleans.
I grew up in Magnolia Project, so, you know, didn't have much, but you never knew because we had community. You know, it was different back in the day. We had the family and friends and, like I said, community. You didn't know, you know, where your next meal was coming from, but you know that you had love around you. And my coach, Bill Robinson, he took me over to Carr. You know, I think that kind of, I wouldn't say saved me, but it took me out of that atmosphere.
Surtain arrived at Edna Karr as a star quarterback for the football team. The Cougars ineligible for the playoffs his first 3 years, but the senior Cougars, including Surtain, captured the school's first state championship in 1993 with a winning field goal against Cecilia in overtime. Surtain later helped Robinson win a basketball state championship as well, playing alongside current Karr basketball coach Torres Howard.
Our senior year, just our first year being eligible for the playoff, we won the state championship. So that was the beginning stages. We were kind of the gatekeepers of the program, and just to see how far it's come, you know, over the years, man, it's truly fun to watch.
Then came college, where Surtain picked the Southern Miss Golden Eagles at first to play quarterback before an early transition to defensive back.
I played quarterback in high school. I was a high school quarterback. Most schools recruited me as an athlete. They wanted me to play receiver or DB, but Southern Miss was like the only school to like, you can play quarterback here. And the irony of that is, like the second, third day of camp, they moved me to DB. It was a move made. I knew I was a pretty good athlete. I didn't play any DB in high school. I only played quarterback. So, you know, they saw something in me, and thank God they did. And
the move was a great one, as Surtain was named Conference Defensive Player of the Year and third-team All-American as a senior. And then came a memorable night back home in the boot.
You know, I actually had a block party at my house in New Orleans. So I had all the friends and family over, and just to get the call from Jimmy Johnson and said, you know, that I was a Dolphin, man. It was a dream come true.
Surtain would star in the NFL for the Dolphins and Chiefs, being named to 3 Pro Bowls and 2 All-Pro teams. He later would get into coaching and have the opportunity to coach his son. And now he enters the LHSAA Hall of Fame class of 2026.
You know, I think this will mean much more, just being a native of Louisiana and seeing those great names on the wall and able to join them, man, it means more. You know, this my stomping grounds. This is where I grew up at. Huge fan of the boot. Just glad to be home, man. Glad to be home. Glad to be in the presence of such greats. and knowing that your name will be there forever is truly gratifying.
Patrick, welcome. Congratulations.
Thank you, man. Finally home.
Finally home.
Absolutely.
How's tonight feel, and what does it mean to you?
Oh, man, it means everything. Like I said in the video, just being a native from Louisiana, I'm in different Hall of Fames. I'm in the Mississippi Hall of Fame, the Senior Bowl Hall of Fame, but to actually, be in the Hall of Fame with someone you grew up from humble beginnings, man, and just to have my family here, my wife, my kids, my brother, my aunts and uncles, my friends, my coaches in the back. It means a lot, especially seeing my aunts and uncles here, man. I know, my mom and dad will be smiling down. They're smiling down on me, and it's just truly a special moment.
You come from an era that I think we're losing it in terms of a player of your caliber playing at a mid-major like Southern Miss, like Brett Favre played there. I remember Brian Mitchell played for the Raging Cajuns and so forth. What led you to Southern Miss? And obviously you had a long NFL career.
Yeah, like I talked about, I'd never played any other position. I was a quarterback, and just they were going to give me an opportunity to pursue my dreams as a quarterback. And, went there on a whim. It was only an hour and a half, from home. But, I knew the motto at Southern Miss, play anybody, anytime, any place. And we were able to play the big guys. We beat LSU my freshman year.
I was going to ask you that. Yeah. Did Curly Hallman recruit you to Southern Miss and then leave? Is that how that went?
It was something like that. Not really. So whenever I played LSU or Tulane, I had that chip on my shoulder to do something. I had some pretty good games against them.
Yeah. Well, I was going to ask you, 1994, Tiger Stadium, Southern Miss beat LSU. Curly Hallman was fired on Monday, I think, or the next day after that game.
I think. Well, I actually had a pick to seal the game, so that was a special moment.
I bet Absolutely. It was. There you are in Tiger Stadium with the
No
game
doubt.
winner, huh? And then your NFL career, if I look correctly, you got out the year before Saban showed up in Miami. You knew what was coming. I'm out of here, or what?
I knew it was coming, but Saban, he called me into the office and was like, we can't pay you. We're gonna go young. And the irony of that is, I let my son go play for him at Alabama.
Yeah. So how's that work when you're in Louisiana? And your son goes to Alabama. I mean, look, it's his choice. He went and played for the greatest of all time, and he did what he did, and he's now in the NFL and doing very well. But I know sometimes you had to get, some animosity that was undeserved, right?
Still to this day.
This looks like crimson, Patrick. Yeah, but his career there, and what could you share just about Saban?
Oh, man, just a heck of a coach, a leader of men. I knew that he would have my son's best interests at heart when he went there, and, it was his decision. He had to go pave a road all of his own, and he chose there. Then look at him now.
Yeah, absolutely. Devonta Smith from A-Meet, right? Wins a Heisman Trophy over there
Absolutely.
as well, So what do you remember about your NFL career? You hear things about it's a job and it's different than high school and college, but what did you take away from that long run in the NFL?
Man, just the competition of it. Each and every week there was going to be somebody, who was the elite of the elite, and just going against the greats. And I picked all Brady, I picked all Manning, I picked all Favre, I picked off Drew Brees. I picked them all off. Went against some Hall of Famers, Jerry Rice, shut him down. Randy Moss, shut him down. So just a competition of everything, man. And
yeah. This is one where we definitely don't need me. I should just let you talk. Who was the toughest quarterback you went against? Like, that guy's a machine. He's a computer. I can't get a read on him.
I would say the greatest quarterback is Tom Brady, but I think that the guy who I thought, when I played was the guy was Peyton Manning.
Yeah.
Because he had Reggie Wayne and Marvin Harrison, whereas Brady, he did it with regular guys. So at my position, I'm going against the receivers, not really quarterback, but Peyton, he had some decent games against, and he's in the New Orleans boy, so I'm gonna go with Peyton.
So did he kind of like give that all shucks when he talks, and then when he starts playing, it's a different thing?
Yeah, and I always let him know, man. We played him in high school and we beat him like 35-0. So I never let him live that one down, and just to pick him off, just the icing on the cake.
So what I should have asked you, toughest wide receiver to go against, or guy that really got your juices going?
Man, it was a lot of them. Like I said, a bunch of Hall of Famers, Moss, Terrell Owens, Marvin Harrison, just a bunch of them. But I held my own against all of them. So.
And they keep making that game harder for you guys. Can't touch them. Flags fly.
Yeah, I don't know how I do in today's game. I have all kind of flags, but they getting paid $30 million a year, so let them deal with it.
That's right. Yeah. Not going to feel bad for them.
Absolutely.
Man. Anything else you want to add?
Nah, man, just thankful for the opportunity. Like I said, it means much more with my family being here, and I'm gonna be forever a boot boy. So.
And Patrick Surtain Jr. is here as well, right?
He is here.
All right. Awesome. Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
All right. And finally, a legendary coach whose career has been defined by leadership, consistency, and a lasting impact on student athletes. With 247 career football wins, 27 playoff appearances, and a 2018 state championship at Eunice High, he was named State Coach of the Year 3 times. Please welcome Coach Paul Trosclair.
A service to the community. That's how Paul Trosclair describes what coaching is to him. The former Eunice head coach was inspired by those who coached him growing up, so it was a no-brainer that being a coach is what he wanted to do.
I loved athletics since I was a young kid. I loved to compete. And I played for some coaches, David Emile being one of them. He was elected to the Hall of Honor in Texas. And I said, those guys are having a real impact on my life. I would love to do this, I love the competition, the preparation, so I just fell in love with it at an early age and decided to continue.
Prior to taking the head coaching job at Eunice, Trosclair was the head coach of Oakdale, a program that needed to be rebuilt, and Trosclair was the perfect man for the job. The second season with Oakdale has stuck with Coach Trosclair through the rest of his career.
We went 4-6 my first year, and then the next year we had some players back and said maybe we'll have a chance. They hadn't had a winning season in 20 years. And we lost our first 2 games, close. I remember going home and telling my wife, I don't think I can do it. I don't think I can get it done. And then we went on a 10-game winning streak, so I'll just never forget that. They just turned around the next week.
After 5 years at Oakdale, Trosclair had the chance to return back to Eunice, but this time at the helm of the program, where he led the Bobcats to 13 district championships, 3 trips to the Superdome, and 1 state championship title in 2018.
Well, we had tried twice. In 97, 98 came short. Then we went through a long stretch where we had some good teams, but we happened to run into some really good teams in the playoffs. In my mind, I was thinking, because I was nearing the end of my career, I said, well, it's not going to happen. I have some fond memories. It was really great. We tried twice to win the state championship. And then we got to class in 18, and all of a sudden we caught fire. And we're in the semifinal game. We're playing Kaplan, and I realized that we're going back and we have a chance to win it. I didn't expect that, so it was really a surprise to me.
Coach Trosclair coached a lot of talented athletes, including his 4 own sons and even NFL players.
I was able to coach 4 of my sons, which I'm very fortunate to have done that. And all of them were were good in his own way. Coached some NFL players. Carlin Vickers is the latest one. He's with the Washington Commanders. Coach Darryl Simon, who went to LSU and played with Seattle in the Super Bowl. So, you know, you're fortunate when you get a talent like that. Coach Kyrus Hebert, who played 11 years in the CFL. You know, you don't get many guys like that. You know, most of the guys I coach were average people, hard-nosed, tough high school kids, but those three guys stand out as being just outstanding.
Coach Trosclair is honored to be a 2026 Louisiana High School Sports Hall of Fame inductee and another one of the most outstanding coaches in the boot.
It's a service. I always consider it a service to our community.
Well, Coach, congratulations. You seem like a very humble man, but what does tonight mean to you?
Well, it's great to be here. I'd like to thank all the people that came tonight. My family's here, friends, players that I coached, coaches that I worked with. I mean, that's just a great honor to be recognized, to have your work validated after all the years.
Tell me about the town of Eunice. It's really personifies Louisiana. They got that radio station there, K-Ball, that everyone listens to the Cajun music on. They got the Liberty Theater where they dance, and they've got the baseball, LSU Eunice, what they've done, winning all the national titles, and what you accomplished at the school. It seems like a very small, intimate, but very special place.
Yeah, it's what small town football and sports is all about. You know, the community loves sports. They love all the sports. And, you know, right now, our softball team's in the playoffs. We have a baseball team in the playoffs, and we have a big fan base that just love sports. And when football's rolling, they get very excited. And when we played in the Superdome in 18, it was like a big green wave on one side of the stadium.
Yeah, some great looking uniforms, that green and white that Eunice wears, good stuff there. And as you coach, the game changes, the offense changes, but is it true that the fundamentals stay the same, block, tackle, do these things well, you win?
Yeah, we were old school. You know, people used to always complain we didn't throw it enough. Of course, you got to throw it, they would think. And my thinking was, we're just trying to win the game. If you tackle and block, we threw when we needed to, and we completed some passes to win some games. I was excited.
Yeah. I had a coach tell me one time, if we win 2-0, we win.
It's a win. It's a dub. Yes, sir.
The state championship that you won late in your career, I'm sure that, you know, people make a narrative about that, you know, completes your career or is the missing piece or something like that. Dale Weiner here in Baton Rouge, something similar happened with him. He won a state championship late in his career. Do we overplay it? Does it mean that much, or what does that mean to you?
It meant a great deal. I had pretty much, as I said in the video, I didn't think it was going to happen. You know, we had lost to Curtis twice in 97, 98. We had a lot of good teams, many quarterfinal runs. And then I just said, well, I'll finish my career, and it will have been a good career. You know, I felt like I impacted some players, and I think that's the most important thing. You know, what we do, I think, is very important. But winning that state championship was like icing on the cake, for sure.
Awesome. And now you have sons that are running the program, and you're...
Well, I have 2 sons that are on the staff. Almost everybody on the staff I actually coached. The head coach was a quarterback for me at Eunice High. So, and they still let me hang around. It's a good deal.
You're like Coach Emeritus or something like
Yes,
that, right?
That's it. Exactly.
And you coach other sports too. I mean, we know you as a football coach, but tell us about the other sports you...
Well, I coach girls softball, and I coach baseball, and I coach track. You know, my thinking on high school coaching is you should be able to coach anything. Not everybody feels that way now. We have a lot of specialists, but where I came from, you had to coach something besides just the sport that you may have loved. And so I felt pretty good about being able to coach more than one sport.
I hope you broke that up. You're coaching baseball, softball, and track. Not all at the same time.
Different times.
Okay, all right.
Different times.
Yeah. Any other things you'd like to share about your time and what tonight
No,
means?
it's just been very meaningful. You know, I had someone tell me when I started, you can't make a living doing this. And yes, you can. And I didn't need a whole lot of money to be happy or feel like I did a service for my community. So I feel good about it.
Awesome. Well, congratulations
Thank
on
you
a
very
wonderful
much.
career.
Thank you very much.
All right, to help us close out this memorable evening, please welcome Mr. Eddie Bonine, Executive Director of the LHSAA.
How about a round of applause for Jacques? A heck of a job here, this man right here. This is his 8th year as our MC, and it doesn't seem like it's been that many years, but thank you so much and what you do and the personality you bring to it. Every year I get the privilege to stand before this body on this evening in April, and you think a year ago there's no doggone way there could be another class better than the one we saw last year. Well, y'all did that again this year. So we want to thank all of you for what you've done and the attitude you did that with. Yes, thank you. The dedication to the athletes, the accomplishments that everybody made here, from the media to the coaching, and Miss Gladys, you set a record here. I've never seen this many people come in for, that's amazing. Very much, thank you so much. Thank you so much. And the career and the time everybody spent with everybody that they've done that with at their respective schools, it's overwhelming as your executive director to see that. The careers that you have had, whether it be coaching, as a contributor, as an athlete. It's amazing, the accomplishments. And earlier today, we had that luncheon with the inductees that could get there at the facility of the LHSAA offices. And for those of you, I say this every year, 12720 Old Hammond Highway, that's where our offices are. That Hall of Fame room is open every day. Tell people to come look at that. That's why we do that and have that luncheon, so that the inductees every year have an opportunity to see where those plaques are going to be hung, and they will always be there. And it's something that I hope that you can send people to us every day. We're more than welcome to have them. I'd like to thank Mr. Jimmy Anderson and Ms. Holloway for their continual leadership with the selection committee and all the process that goes in place. It is very, very difficult when you sit in that room and you start going through all of those applications and all those potential inductees to narrow it down to where we did tonight. We could have very well had 15 tonight. But that process is important, but at the end of the day, you get what you saw tonight. And it makes me proud as your executive director to be able to host this function and know that those individuals and everything they did will last forever. Thank you so much on behalf of the LHSAA. Thank you.
Before we conclude this evening, we would like to take a moment to recognize Hall of Fame committee members in attendance. Thanks for your dedication and service to the Hall of Fame, as you are tasked each year with the difficult responsibility of selecting this distinguished class. A special thanks to the LHSAA Network for producing tonight's outstanding video tributes, and to Russell Palmer for capturing photos of this memorable evening. Photos from tonight's ceremony will be available on the LHSAA website following the event. At this time, we'd like to invite all of tonight's attendees, along with any Hall of Fame members in attendance, to make their way to the back of the room, I believe, I'm told, for a group photo. Following the photo, inductees will be available for autographs and interviews. Thank all of you for being here, and congratulations once again to the 2026 Louisiana High School Sports Hall of Fame inductees. As we like to say, merci beaucoup et le prochain, which means thank you very much until next time. Good night, everyone.
The LHSAA Network TV app features a 24/7 live channel as well as on-demand content with all the high school sports you want, and it's totally free.